Feels has me feeling my best every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feals.com/fluid. That's FLUID. You get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/fluid to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/fluid.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by two really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Your show was better when you had medical questions. Hey!
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic, echographic, and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in a tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve.
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, and now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medical practitioner who gives me street cred with the weirdo alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And we also have returned from sabbatical, Stacy DeLoach, everyone.
Yay!
The man with many questions. This is a show for people who had never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you have a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call at 347-766-4323. That's 347. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine, at Dr. Scott WM, or at, Stacy DeLoach? What's your Twitter? Huh?
I did away with Twitter.
What? Oh, you did away with Twitter? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. And maybe we can get Stacy a book on mic technique. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Quit doing that. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking over with your doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, asshole, chiropractor, acupuncturist, yoga master, physical therapist, clinical laboratory scientist, registered dietitian, or whatever. Jesus. Well, that was a cluster. Anyway, hey, don't forget to check out stuff.drsteve.com. Stuff.drsteve.com for all of your Amazon needs. And tweakedaudio.com still offers the best earbuds for the money on the internet and the best customer service anywhere. And if you use offer code FLUID, FLUID, you get 33% off your order. You can't beat that. Check out Roadie, ROADIE.drsteve.com, or you can just go to drsteve.com and there's a link there, or stuff.drsteve.com for the Roadie robotic guitar tuner. If you know someone that has a guitar or a bass, you want to get them a Roadie. I am just telling you. Have you seen? Have you heard us talking about?
I've heard you talk about it, but I've not seen it yet.
It's nuts. Look at this thing. We've already done this on the show once, but let me. Here it is. Can you turn it on? Okay, and then I'm going to tune my bass. So I have a Roadie bass. Let's get this thing up here. This is fascinating from a radio perspective, but it's just so cool.
Yeah, watch how I do this.
Yeah, no, but they can hear it. Though.
Look here,
look
here.
Up, Scott. Okay, and I just pluck it, and it tunes it. Uh-oh.
Oh. It must have been tuned up.
No, it's... oh, there it goes. Okay, there you go. So, no, it's very precise. So I'll do one more string and then I'll quit. Huh. I might cut this out of here. I think it... oh, there it goes. Okay. There you go. Anyway, it really is cool, and what it is the battery is low. I haven't charged the battery. This battery's lasted 2 months.
No way.
But you can do it in the middle of a gig. Just hold the thing on there, and it'll just tune it up while you're going, and you don't even have to listen to it or hear it or anything. It just
takes
does
away
it for
guitar tech's job.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, so you can check that out at stuff.drsteve.com. And then if you want to lose weight with me, I'm back on track. Noom, NOOM.drsteve.com. It's a psychology program. It'll get you 2 weeks free, plus 20% off if you decide to do it. It's not that expensive. It's just a 3-month program. And it really changed my life. It changed my relationship with food. And don't forget Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. All right, very good. Hello, Stacy. Good to have you in the studio, man.
Thank you very much.
Been a little while.
It has. Glad to see both of y'all.
Yeah, man. So, Stacy brought me a nerd thing that we were going to use on the air today, and I couldn't figure it out. It's a software-defined radio, and it's just this little box that you plug into your USB port, and it'll go from like 100 hertz up to like 2 gigahertz or
yeah,
something.
Something like that. It covers the entire band spectrum.
So you can listen to AM, FM, then ham radio stuff. You can listen to police, fire, aircraft.
You can listen to private band radios as long as they're not encrypted.
Right. You probably listen to some moon stuff and satellite crap, too.
You can get because it goes up into the gigahertz.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
For $39.
But the only thing I could get it to do was repeat back what we were doing.
Well, that's what was interesting anyway. So.
You think that was interesting? I didn't find it interesting at all. It was pretty, Scott was
annoying. Annoying.
It's nerd stuff. And it's like, all right. So, so this is what I could get it to do. And it's pretty neat. I wish you all could see it. It's got a great, what we call waterfall display on it, but it's waterfalling my voice, and that's not what I wanted it to do. So I have to figure out how to make that actually do the radio. But anyway, thank you for bringing that. That's very cool. Been doing a lot of ham radio stuff lately.
Right.
Foxtrot Tango 8 is my the mode that I enjoy right now. It's a computerized mode. I don't have to talk to anybody.
I am trying to get my system to recognize that.
There's still some skill involved.
Okay.
In that you got to be in the right place at the right time, but also figuring out what transmit and receive frequency that you should be using to optimize your ability to get that rare country,
right,
bagged in your in your
log.
I just realized this is just.
Well, you said it was going to be a geek show.
Only a ham radio operator would have any interest in this whatsoever. I'm just thinking about it as like,
all three people.
I'm pretending that Tacey's sitting there, and I'm talking about, bagging these rare countries to put in my logbook, but that's just really all you're doing. And then it's cool because then they put it in theirs, and then you get a little star next to it that says that that was a confirmed.
You've been bagged.
It was a confirmed contact.
I look at like getting a star on the refrigerator. I did good.
Yeah, that's really what it is. And now that you know what. Go F everybody. I'm going to throw all my ham radio stuff away. It's I just realized it's stupid.
I'm just afraid of anybody that's driving down the interstate in the middle of the night listening to the show, they're going to start having...
Yeah, okay. Well, you wait till you start answering your questions.
I am not going to answer anything about a ham radio because I don't know anything about it.
Well, no, I mean, you have some questions to answer. We'll see if they're any more
entertaining.
Yeah.
One would assume not.
Wow. And while you're answering this question, I'm going to be calling. Oh, you know what?
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to have to put this show on hold just for a second. Those of you at home won't notice anything. It'll be like you had a colonoscopy and they told you to count back to 10, and then you open your eyes and it's over.
Does it mean we're going to be farting a whole lot during the show?
We have to, no, they use nitrogen now. It doesn't even work. I had my colonoscopy last time, and I was going to take a flatus flute with me and cram it up there and then just have a blast recording it. Of course, now that I say it out loud, it sounds just as stupid as the ham radio, but and record it and for the show.
Right.
I figured I could get a good 30-second flatus flute whistle, which, by the way, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, it's a whistling butt plug, and the artwork is done by not Son of Sam, Son of Fritz. And the guy is on Twitter is DanTech1. Just go to flatusflute.com. You can check it out. But anyway, I figured a good 30-second toot on that thing.
Right.
But they use nitrogen. It's all absorbed and nothing. Not the first hint of flatus emerged from my rectum because it was all gone.
Absorbed right back into your body.
Yeah, right as soon as they finished, it was done. And
So disappointing.
I was pretty pissed. I was pissed. I told my colonoscopist that I was next time I want air or carbon dioxide.
So he's walking around carrying a butt plug with nothing to do with it.
Because the first time I had one of those and they pumped up my colon, they pumped it up like a dang balloon, right? It was tight. I could tell. You could feel it.
Oh, wow.
And when I got out of there, I've told this story before, I went to the bathroom and just thunderous flatus coming out, and it just went on and on and on. And there were conversations on the other side of the wall that I heard they stopped. People were over there talking, they just stopped. And then, the nurse was pretty hot, and I just stuck my head out of the door after I just farted up a storm. And of course she heard every bit of it. I mean, it was shaking the walls. And I'm like, so what are you doing this weekend? Anyway. She found it funny.
It's work-related.
She had a sense of humor. Anyway, so we'll be right back because we're going to get a guest on the phone who's going to talk to us about lucid dreaming.
Okay.
All right, and we're back. Hopefully that was painless for everyone since it was instantaneous as far as the listeners were concerned. We have Adam on the line, and Adam is calling about some lucid dreaming, which I'm always interested in talking to people about. So, Adam, tell us your story, and I know you emailed me, but, the listeners haven't read your email, so just sort of give them the Reader's Digest version.
Sure. After listening to your show and then listening to a couple other shows talking about it, I thought I would try and see if I could do it. I don't know that I've been real successful, but
Click.
I think you had talked about.
I'm just kidding.
Try harder.
Yeah. Where you pick one thing as like an indicator that tells you that you're in a dream.
Yes.
And one of the indicators for me is if I find myself in my hometown over the phone booth at the end of the block, and it's been gone for years, and if it's there, I know I'm dreaming.
Okay.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. I know I'm dreaming if I see people ice skating on linoleum, but it doesn't help me to be in control of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Another thing, and I mentioned in my email, is that I'm an amateur photographer. And I told myself once, an indicator that you're dreaming would be is you could take a picture of something with a camera, and with a modern camera.
Ooh.
And you could try to look back at it on your camera screen, and if it's not there, then you're dreaming.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that would be really cool. And I got it to work in a couple of dreams, but my brain outsmarted me. In the dreams, I would look down and I would have a camera in my hand, and I would pick it up to take a photograph of something to test to see if I was sleeping and the camera was broken.
Oh, no. Damn it.
And so I couldn't get it to work, but that was enough to make me know that I was dreaming.
Why is this so effing hard? I mean, why does our brain make it?
I don't know, but it's...
Yeah. It drives me crazy.
Another thing that I've been successful... Oh, yep. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Another thing I've been successful at is boring time travel. Like, I'll go back to when I was a kid or something. It's nothing exciting.
Yeah.
But I find, like, if I see that phone booth, I have the ability to, like, grab somebody in the dream and say, hey, I'm from the future and I'm going to explain to you things. and then they'll just look at you like you're insane. But it's hard to explain. Like, I'll take them to buildings and stuff that I was never in when I was a kid, and say, now we're going to go around the corner and this is going to be here. And it always is. But I think my brain is just constructing it out of memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I haven't really done anything interesting. Like I said, I think I'm getting there, but I don't think I've done anything really cool with it.
Well, it's still cool, though. I mean, I love talking about it because it fascinates me. It's like there's this whole world inside our heads that if we could just explore it, but we're at the mercy of whatever the operating system is, and it just says, no, you know what? You're not going to dream about having intercourse with, a hot, whatever, brunette. Paris is going to be in your backyard and not Paris Hilton. You know,
Right.
and then you're gonna wonder, well, how come I had to get on a plane to go there when it's been in my backyard all this time and all this stupid shit? And why
And
can't
you've talked about this a lot, and one of the things is like it'll turn nonsensical for me, and that's when I lose control of anything, and the dream just goes off the rails.
Yeah.
And it'll be something really dumb that makes no sense, like I'll be typing on a computer with a piano key, you know, and all of a sudden my brain will go, well, that doesn't make any sense. You can't use a computer with a piano, you fool. And then the next thing you know, there's like a train in my front yard.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the dream is just, it's
Right.
any semblance of trying to control it is gone.
But the train in your front yard is just like normal though. It's not like, whoa, there's a damn train in my front yard.
You don't go, well, that's silly. There's never been a train in my yard.
Right.
Before your brain just goes, oh yeah, there's a train in the yard.
It's so crazy. I've
One
had,
thing I
go
wanted
ahead.
to ask you. Oh, go ahead.
No, you
Sorry,
go. You go. We have a little delay.
One thing
It's
I
okay.
really wanted to ask you about is how, like, there's a speed bump by my house, and cars always, you know, like if they go over it, and if there's a truck, there'll be like a bang.
Yeah.
And how does your brain incorporate that into the dream? Because I've always been curious about that. You'll hear a bang, and in a dream, it'll be like someone banging on a door, or maybe a bomb going off or something. But in order for that to work, how did your brain know that that was going to happen? Because the setup would have had to have happened before the noise.
Correct.
Or do you just think it did?
That's my hypothesis, is that you're a little bit unstuck in time when you're dreaming. I know that I've had dreams that seem like they went on for hours, and then I wake up and it's only been a couple of minutes, and vice versa, where, you know, I thought I was only asleep for a few minutes and, you know, it was hours. I guess that would be the, you know, the converse. I didn't have to go through the whole thing. But anyway, I've had the same exact question, that something will be said in my dream, in the real world. It's incorporated in my dream, but there had to have been some retroactive setup for that to have made sense at the moment. And then I realize none of it makes sense. So the brain can just make you think, yes, I set all this up before.
Or did the brain know that you've heard this and is constructing the dream around this phrase?
Yeah,
as that this phrase is the theme of your dream.
But what he's saying is you know, it fit into the dream, so there had to be some groundwork laid.
Right.
For this thing to fit in there, except it happened right then, and there's no way the brain could have known that. So that tells you right there that the brain is effing with you, and it's playing with time, and it's getting you to say, yeah, that, you know, all this setup was really there.
But just think how fast your brain has to process.
Yeah.
With everything else, it has life support and everything else.
Yeah, it's a massively parallel process.
Right.
That's the thing. Each operation is very slow because they're chemical operations, but the net total is very fast as far as the kind of processing that we see, where we're, you know, I'm looking at that poster of Vic Henley, and all of these things are coming to mind. You know, comedy, I can read it without translating it. I know what colors those things are. Oh, there's Cliff Andrews, there's James. You know, I think of the memories I had with Vic before he died. All that stuff is in my head, and it's just buried in there somewhere. Right. Now, I may not think about Vic again until I see this poster 2 weeks from now, but where the hell does that shit reside? It's all in there.
And it's all chemically stored. It's not like it's a hard drive that it can pull the data from. It has to have the chemical reactions in order to reproduce these thoughts.
There may be some hardware wiring where the microtendrils actually may change their configuration slightly, but it's not like we think about it. It's, you know, like the Babbage's different engine where you had to go in and change the dials and stuff. It's
what was the
like
thing that they've been experimenting
with? Poor
with?
Adam, he's stimulated this. And now here we go.
We've already gone and run this thing out into the weeds, but
it's fascinating.
Being able to store data like you do on a hard drive by storing it in DNA.
Yeah.
That's something I've heard about for the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, sure. DNA is...
we're doing geek stuff again.
No, we're good.
When we read it right now, we're reading it in three letter combinations. And the thing is, you don't have to read it that way. you could have an enzyme that reads it in 4 letters. And these codons could be 4 letters long, and so you could have a DNA that reads one way when you're reading it in 3-letter combinations, and a different way when you read it as 4-letter combinations. Or maybe you start one nucleotide farther in, and now you've got a whole new thing. And there are some proteins that are made that way, and they actually function, which is crazy. So
look at me. I just built tug.
The whole thing, when you start thinking about it, will drive you batty. And just the whole concept of consciousness, where we are the universe, we grow out of into the universe, and we are the universe's mechanism for regarding itself. But how does that even work? And that's why we have so much problem with mental illness, because we don't have a clue how the brain works. Why do we need sleep? Why do fish sleep? What do they need to do? What memories are they processing?
What are they dreaming about?
One thing I'd love to know.
Really curious about.
Yeah.
How? Let's say that you have somebody that's like bilingual or knows multiple languages.
Yes.
When you talk to someone in a dream, what language do they speak?
Yeah, that's interesting. When I was fluent in Spanish in college, I would dream in Spanish. But that was because, I was studying it, and so it was on my mind all the time. Now, I don't know the answer to your question, Adam, but I'll tell you one thing that's fascinating about language that blows me away, that if you bring a kid up, kids' brains are very plastic when it comes to language. And if you bring a kid up in a household where there are 6 different speakers of 6 different languages, they will effortlessly, although they'll start off sounding like a dumbass, like all kids do, because they're learning organically rather than learning it from a book. And they will speak all 6 languages to each person. They'll never speak Spanish to the Greek speaker or Russian to the German speaker, any of that stuff. And I had a friend who she had a kid in China. She has 5 kids. One of them was born in China. One was a little toddler when she was there. But the one that was born in China, after about 2 years, she thought that she was, had a delay, an intellectual delay, because she didn't talk. She just babbled all the time. And when she took her to Chinese daycare, of course, there they call it daycare, but she took it to daycare in China, and she said, this one is, I think she's delayed. She's, seems like a nice enough kid, but she doesn't talk. And when she went to pick her up that day, they said, oh, no, she's talking. She's talking in Chinese. And my friend's Chinese wasn't good enough to pick up baby talk Chinese, but she had an au pair or, and she would speak to her in Chinese all the time. She was picking that up preferentially compared to her parents' language, which was fascinating. So that kid is completely fluent in Mandarin.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That is pretty cool.
That's amazing.
So the human brain, you can ask me these questions. I have no answers, but I love to talk about it because it's fascinating.
What is it?
Well,
go ahead.
I'm going to mess this up. What's the one when you're going to sleep? The
hypnagogic. Yeah, hypnagogic episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
you guys are talking about
give me
where,
one of these.
You'll have the ball coming at your face.
Yes.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. The one that happens to me, and it drives me nuts, is that I get it occasionally where it's like that feeling you get when you're walking and there's a step down.
Yes, I get that too. Yep. And you go, tunk.
And you just, and you almost kick yourself out of the bed.
Yep. Yeah, because your whole body jerks like you're falling just like 6 inches.
I had one a couple of weeks ago. I don't know exactly. I had one of those weird things. I've been up all night on a salvage job and had been up and forever and decided to take a nap and woke up. I was pretty sure I was having convulsions, just shaking and just.
That's hypnopompic.
And just unbelievably happy for about 30 seconds. And I couldn't explain why.
That's weird. That's a weird one.
Yeah, well.
The time when I had my first hypnopompic episode, I've talked about it on this show, where I woke up and I could see my parents. I was sleeping in my parents' bedroom with my then wife, and because my parents were out of town. just let me throw that in there. My parents weren't in there with us, but I opened up my eyes. I could see the whole room. I could see all the details on my mom's dresser and all this stuff. And there was this giant eyeball floating in space right next to the bed,
watching over you.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" I mean, this is real. I'm being, visited by some strange thing. And then it blinked and I had like a convulsion.
Right.
My whole body shook like that. And then I woke up and then I realized what was going on, because when I actually woke up, it was completely black in that room. I couldn't see anything.
I figured it was a film crew or something.
No, that'd be hilarious. But no, I couldn't see anything. And so all of those details that I saw when the eyeball was floating in the air next to me were all mapped in my brain.
Right.
They say it is amazing how you have the ability to reconstruct the room around you.
Yes.
And the ones I have is where I'll constantly it's like I can't wake up.
Yeah.
I feel like there's somebody in the house and like an intruder, and I cannot wake up. And I'm in my bed. But the question is am I sleeping? Am I dreaming this?
Yes.
Or am I really trying to wake up and I can't?
All of the above are true. What's happening is that when you are in REM sleep, there's a bunch of switches that have to be thrown, okay? And one of the switches is, okay, we got to paralyze the body so that the person isn't running around, jumping around, doing things. And we have to turn their consciousness off so that they can just be asleep. And there's other switches that have to be tossed. And if any of those don't get thrown properly, weird things happen. So if you don't get the paralysis 100%, what you have is a somnambulist, somebody that sleepwalks. My wife does that, and my oldest kid does that. Just walking around. Liam, you ever seen Paranormal Activity? Liam used to get out of bed and just stand over our bed and just stand there. Like, dude, that's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
That would terrify me.
I know, it was terrible. You're just standing there.
Is there anything wrong with waking them up from that?
No, nothing. You can wake them up. It's fine. And most of the time you can just say, Liam, just go back to bed. And they just go back to bed.
And though you will try to always get it right, the beauty of life lives inside of you. And I hope someday you find it too.
Do you experience stress or have anxiety or chronic pain or have trouble sleeping at least once a week? Well, you're certainly not alone. A lot of us do. Personally, I have difficulty sleeping due to chronic pain, due to a myriad of problems that have to do with being a whole lot older than most of my audience. I was searching for anything that would help, and then I discovered Feals, F-E-A-L-S. It's premium CBD delivered directly to your door. It feels naturally to help reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. It absolutely helps with my chronic pain and with my inability to sleep through the night. You just place a few drops of Feals under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. The thing to remember about CBD is finding your right dose is important, and everybody's dose is different, so just leave room to experiment over the course of a week or so. You may need to take more or less to get the effects you're after. If you're new to CBD, Feals offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience. Who's doing that? Feals works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, hangover, or addiction. So join the Feals community and get Feals delivered directly to your door every month. You'll save money on every order. You can pause or cancel anytime. Feals has me feeling my best every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feals.com/fluid. That's F-L-U-I-D. You get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/fluid to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/fluid. I'd like to tell you about our new sponsor, BetterHelp.com. This is a professional counseling website that connects you to safe and private session with real licensed professionals. Is there something interfering with your happiness or something preventing you from achieving your goals? Well, BetterHelp.com can help. There's a broad range of experts in the field of counseling that may not be locally available in your area, and it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling. All of this without ever having to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. Anxiety, anger, depression, LGBT matters, insomnia, grief, whatever is affecting your life can be worked on with your professional counselor. If you don't get along with them for any reason, BetterHelp makes it easy to change counselors anytime you want. I want you to get started living a happier life today. As a Weird Medicine listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/medicine. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com/medicine. Tacy one time got up and I wish she were here. I don't think she'd mind me telling this story, but she got out of bed and was getting ready to walk out of our hotel room with sans clothing, right? And she was just going to walk right out the hotel room. And thank God I woke up. And I said, stop. And she stopped. And I said, take 6 steps backward, and she took 6 steps backward. I said, turn around, and I was just guiding her, and she did all these things. It was like an automaton or something. Finally got her back to the bed, and I just said, get back in bed and go to sleep, and that worked. But anyway, yeah.
I've always heard that you can't dream of your death.
That's bullshit. I've dreamed that I died. I fell out of an airplane, and I hit the ground, and I died in that dream. And I didn't die.
I had a dream that I got shot, and I wouldn't die, and there was this voice that kept just saying, "Just die."
Wow.
You're dying. You got shot. Just die.
Yeah.
But I never did.
Have you ever been underwater and you say, I'm going to drown, and then you start breathing and go, wait a minute, I didn't know I could breathe underwater. Have you ever had that one, Scott?
No.
I don't. I've had dreams that I could fly.
Yeah, until you have to, and then you can't fly anymore.
I used to have those as a kid that I could just run and just jump and just glide.
Yeah, me too.
I remember Anthony Acumia talking about dreaming about girls and stuff, but they had to be tiny little girls. He wanted to pick them up and put them in his mouth. And that's all he wanted to do was just hold them in his mouth, let them back out.
I don't remember that one. Well, one thing I was going to tell Adam is when you feel like there's an intruder in your house. So we got to the somnambulist, but we didn't talk about these sleep paralysis episodes. So that's where you wake up, but you're still paralyzed, but you're still in REM state. But you're aware of the fact that you're awake. So this is what I'm going. If this happens to you a bunch, this is your gateway to true lucid dreaming. If you're a person that has hypnopompic episodes, those you can control because you are completely awake during that. So instead of an intruder, think of a late night booty call and see if you can't control that, or something else that appeals to you. I would think of Moog synthesizer.
I think a good indicator. One thing I've noticed that's been a good indicator for those is, you keep dreaming that you're waking up, but you can't wake up.
Right.
And the room is dark.
Yep.
And then when you really wake up, the sun is pouring in the room because, it's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh.
Or just the opposite for me. I'll dream that the room is light, and then when I wake up, it's dark. So try that. Next time you have a hypnopompic episode, instead of being worried about an intruder in the house, see if you can't change it. Because the last time I had one, and this was absolutely the last time it ever happened to me, I said, I'm going to sit up, and I willed myself to sit up, except I didn't exert any muscle force. I just kind of levitated up. And then when I looked over to the left, I saw a gurney. And I knew that was because the Greys had brought it and they were going to take me to their ship. And I went, this is stupid. And boom, I just woke up. And I was laying back. I was laying down. I never did actually sit up. But you can control that. And that was fun for me. Once I realized what hypnopompic episodes were, I had a little bit of measure of control, but I don't have them often enough to be able to really use that as a laboratory.
I can remember back in the 80s, it was some movie it was based off of, but an out-of-body experience. And then there were a whole bunch of us, and everybody was just trying to see if you could have an out-of-body experience in your dream. So you're in the corner looking down to see if you could see yourself in your dream.
They did a study on people with near-death experience in the operating room. What they did was they had all these people saying, I floated above my body and I could see them working on me.
Yes.
I was floating from the ceiling. So what these guys did, it was brilliant, was they took a light like our clock up there. It was, with the big lit up letters, and they put a message on it. And if you were floating up there, you could see that. It would be totally obvious. And so the next 20 times that people said they had this perception that they were floating, they said, did you see any messages?
Right.
Anything like that, and 0% of people got it right.
It looks like with all the modern medicine, especially the anesthesia nowadays, that would be an easy experiment to recreate.
Yeah. Well, this wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I put something on propofol and see what you can read.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
This isn't really so much down the subject of what we're talking about, but I had an episode recently where I had eaten something. I won't name the place because I know you don't want to get
please don't.
in trouble, but I'd eaten something at a restaurant.
Which is fine.
And in a dream, I was nauseous. And when I woke up, I wasn't. And I thought, and when you're coming from sleep to wake, usually especially if you're sleeping and you're having the stomach flu or something, you're like, oh, this is going to suck.
Yep.
And when I woke up, it was gone.
That's weird.
I thought that was really odd.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That's almost opposite. What if you were to aspirate in your sleep?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because your REM is because your REM is so deep that you don't wake up from it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't dream like that. There are in the science fiction literature, there are aliens that when they sleep they can't be woken up, and they're very vulnerable. We had to be worried about saber-toothed tigers coming in our cave and stuff, and so our brain sleeps with a metaphoric one eye open because, if somebody calls your name or your beeper goes off,
right,
most 99% of the time you'll wake up and be appropriate. Now, there are certain points of the sleep cycle that if my beeper goes off, I have answered the phone and given orders and stuff from what I understand, and they were totally appropriate, but I don't have any recollection of it. That's scary.
What is it that when you wake up, and I've always assumed this is because you're being pulled out of a different state of REM sleep.
Yeah.
But where I'll have some like maybe once or twice a month where I'll wake up and I am confused for, I don't know, I don't feel right for maybe, 20, 30 minutes. You feel like you're still just kind of groggy, but and it's always when you're coming out of like a really intense dream.
Yeah, I haven't experienced that one.
But
I know
it's just like someone yanked you out of it, and you're still confused. You don't know what's real and what's not. I mean, you're walking around, but you feel out of it.
If you chase that one down the Google rabbit hole, it'll just tell you have cancer. So I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah, that's what everything says. You've got cancer or HIV.
Well, Adam, you stimulated 31 minutes of conversation, man. I'm glad that you contacted me today, and it was really I enjoyed it. I don't know if anybody else did, but we had fun. Scott didn't seem. You were awfully quiet during that, Scott. You don't have any. The hippie doesn't have anything to say about dream states and stuff. What the hell, dude?
Well, I do, but I don't know. I didn't think. I was having a hard time fitting into the conversation. No, and I say that because I get kind of like that where I feel like I'm in a parallel world, so I can actually see myself doing while I'm sleeping almost exactly what I'm doing in this life with other people. It's
really
the most bizarre thing. Yeah.
Oh, like a parallel universe.
Exactly. Like
and
a
you've done
universe.
this thing,
Right.
but you're seeing it, and it's the same thing.
Same thing with different
but it's
people.
with different people and
Yeah.
stuff. That's weird.
It's like it literally
I haven't heard of that
exact
one.
same thing. It's the most bizarre thing.
I used to have real boring dreams if I was sick, like a fever dream, or if I had a puke bug. I would have dreams that we were wrapping Christmas presents, and it would just go on and on and on, and then I'd wake up and puke.
Oh, Jesus.
Just killing time.
Yeah, just
terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. Just terrible. They're boring dreams.
I had one when I was little that it was Easter, and I got up when I was a kid, and you know how you always thought the Easter bunny hid the eggs while you were asleep.
Yeah.
And it was a terrifying nightmare because I got up and I had to go to the bathroom, and it was in my house, and I swear it was real. Go to the bathroom, and I come out, and the Easter Bunny is standing there, but he has fangs, and he just says, "Go to bed."
Oh, no.
And I asked my mom about it when I woke up. I said, "Why was the Easter Bunny in our house?" And she just said, "You were drinking."
Wow.
But I would swear to this day that it was real.
Hilarious.
Well, you know, our
I
brains,
was watching some scary movie.
if our brains wanted to be more malicious, it could throw nightmares at us every night. I always wonder why I don't have more nightmares than I do.
Yeah.
My nightmares these days consist of me murdering somebody and getting away with it, and then everybody's treating me like I'm, normal Dr. Steve, but I have this deep dark secret, and that just really freaks me out.
Dr. Dexter.
And then I'll wake up and go, thank God that was a dream. Or I'll dream that I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes and forgot that I forgot I don't smoke anymore.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's always good to wake up and go, thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go, Adam. So what are your 2?
I'll have dreams that I need help and I can't talk.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you can't get the breath out of your lungs to say anything, and you're just, And the other one is I'll have a dream where I've quit my job and I've sold my house and I decided I'm going to go do something else, and then I get there and I go, I really regret this.
And then you wake up and that's another
back.
thank God. My kid dreams that he forgets to go to class. I dreamt that I forgot to go to class in college. What I dream now is that I had a patient in the hospital. I forgot to make rounds on him for 2 weeks. They've just been laying there. Scott, what else you got?
The same thing. I had it for years that I would come in on Monday mornings. I dreamed this on Sunday nights. I come in on Monday morning and have all of my exam rooms full, all the patients when there still was needles in them, but they're all dead and they'd already turned to ashes.
Oh, my God.
Or I'd forgotten them on Friday. And I'm yelling in the middle of my dream going, all you had to fucking do was get up. All you got to do is pull it in. You didn't have to die. I'm yelling at these dead people. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's a thank God I woke up.
Bizarro.
Question.
Yeah.
I started taking turmeric.
Sure.
Just trying to get something else, sugar levels and everything else.
If this isn't dream related, I'm going to let Adam go.
It was great dreams.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Great dreams for about 4 or 5 nights.
Wow.
And then I guess I got used to it or whatever. Yeah. And then, after that, I didn't have it.
Is there anything in traditional Chinese medicine that is related to dreams? In other words, something that maybe stimulates dreams? Because I would imagine, particularly 4,000 years ago, that people would have been fascinated by this whole idea of this dichotomy between the waking and dreaming world.
Yeah, and it starts with mushrooms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's true. No, different types of mushrooms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Psilocybin.
They have psilocybin mushroom. Oh, I guess they're everywhere.
Sure, yeah,
right?
everywhere.
Yeah.
And so that absolutely, and probably a lot of these experiments were done on prisoners and things like that. That's kind of how a lot of acupuncture got started and a lot of the herbal medicines.
Really?
Started, yeah.
Like 4,000 years ago, they had prisoners and the emperor
There's been
throwing them in.
around for a long time.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, and then they experimented on them.
Oh, yeah, literally, that's what they did.
I guess medical ethics wasn't really.
There were no ethics,
back
and that's
then,
that's how they started doing autopsies and stuff. We're on prisoners that died.
Yeah.
And hell, they didn't have any. It's like, well, we don't care.
Michelangelo did autopsies.
Yep.
He paid to get dead bodies so that he could cut them up and see what was going on inside, so he could better draw and paint the human body. Yep. He wanted to know what was in there.
Well, that's how the Chinese originally kind of decided how a lot of the organs in the flow of the organ systems. So even though they didn't have obviously a lot of the scientific techniques we have today, they could at least kind of track, run a tube down the mouth and winds up in the stomach and then goes to the colon and out the pooper. Well, I guess it's all connected,
Isn't that something?
And that's why a lot of the stuff in Chinese medicine organs have relationships that are unique to Chinese medicine, but not Western medicine.
Yeah.
Like the spleen helping with digestion is a big thing.
Because it was right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Big difference.
Interesting. All right. Well, shit. Probably ought to answer a couple of medical questions today. But hey, Adam, thank you very much, man. That was good talking to you. I'll talk about dreams anytime.
See you, Adam.
I had fun. Thank you.
All right, man.
Have a good one, man.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Adam. Everybody.
Yay!
He's a good failure.
Good failure.
Well, I can't get this call to drop. There he goes. Okay, there goes Adam. All right, very good. Don't forget to check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. I'm still getting complaints that you don't have anything on there.
No. Yeah.
People
It's costing me a fortune.
People really want the nasal spray. Well, so
should
we do something different?
Yeah.
Do you want to? Can you get the nasal spray, and then we'll just promo it on the podcast and on our Dr. Steve website.
Yep.
I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, and I just hate for them to have to contact you first when they could just come.
Well, they could just we could just do a link on our website.
Okay, yeah.
That would just go straight to you.
Yep. We could do that. Yeah, because we do have some at the office.
Because your concern is what? The website costs a lot of money?
No. It's not that. It's my dumb ass that's in charge of putting the nasal spray back on the website. Still hasn't done it yet.
Oh, dude.
It takes 2 seconds.
Take me literally 2 seconds to do it.
I know.
Let's just do it on ours then. If you so you have the product.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Okay. So
and now tis the season.
Okay.
You can smell my nose.
Well, I got to be careful about it. This isn't supposed to be an ad for that, but I'll get on that.
Yeah.
People can go to drsteve.com if they want to check something out. All right. Let's. I've got a question for Dr. Scott here. Oh, first things first.
Hey, this is Ace from Oregon.
Okay, man.
Dr. Steve?
Hey, man. Hey, hang on just a second. I got to do some business first.
Give yourself a BL.
Well, wrong one.
Number one thing.
There we go.
Don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
There we go.
How are you?
Hey, we're good, man. How are you?
And I take it the lovely and talented Casey and your family are doing as well.
They are very well. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's fantastic. This question is actually for Dr. Scott.
Okay.
Given the likelihood that the virus that caused COVID-19, the pandemic, likely originated from the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Okay. Allegedly. We'll just say that.
Not suggesting anything nefarious in that regard. However, could there be an alternative source, namely the role of the bat and the pangolin as being hosts for the virus, and the roles of these two creatures in the traditional Chinese medicine apothecary?
Oh,
anyway,
is that
I was
right?
just curious, and I'll take your answer off the air.
Okay, thanks, man. So the pangolin, is there a role for that in traditional Chinese medicine?
No.
Okay,
no.
But bat, yes, though, right? Or no?
No, not here. Yeah, maybe there, but
yeah.
And I can't speak to there, but I can tell you as far as in the United States, we're really, really regulated.
Yeah.
On what we can we use as herbal medicines. For instance, it still drives me crazy that we can't use
ephedra,
yeah, Mawang ephedra, which is it's very safe in low doses for asthma, but those geniuses put a ton of it in there for weight loss and was making them
ruined it for everybody.
Right. Yeah, and I get it. It's just like a lot of pain medicines. It can be wonderful for some people, but you know. But anyway, my answer is going to be no. Because we are really, really regulated on what we do. And we don't use rhinoceros horns, and we don't use...
Oh, man, I had like 5 pounds in the trunk of the car.
Yeah, yeah, thanks, Dave. But, we do. But we still do use a lot of flying squirrel feces, so you never know.
That is interesting. It's crazy that you're regulated. Though, you can't use bats, but you can use flying squirrel fecal matter.
As long as it's dried, I think it's okay.
Just dried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing fresh.
Whose job is it to collect it?
Not mine.
God.
What about, I've been meaning to ask you this one, apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Is there any benefits to doing vinegar other than just your respiratory, trying to breathe after you do it?
I think if you'll mix apple cider vinegar with garlic and a little bit of honey,
then you won't have any friends to talk to.
You won't have any friends, and you'll be virus free.
There you go. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. No, but I think certainly there's a lot of research back and forth and arguments. I think if you do it in low doses, it's probably got some health benefits for sure.
Well, like what? It'll acidify your urine because you're taking in an acid, and your acid-base balance is very closely maintained by the body. So any excess acid you take out will go out in your urine, and there are some kidney stones that will not form in the presence of an acidic urine. So that's one thing that I can think of.
Right.
A lot of this other stuff sounds like horse hockey to me.
Agreed. Yeah, and I'm not saying there's a lot, but I'm saying but they're saying some of the apple cider vinegars, if you have the mother in it, then maybe there is some probiotics. Some probiotics. Some probiotic.
No, so in other words,
possibly.
if it's rotten and not pasteurized,
right? Non-pasteurized. Right.
If you're gonna do cultures and stuff, I wouldn't apple juice that ferments becomes apple wine. Apple cider vinegar that ferments. I don't know what the hell happens there, but you're going
pretty caustic.
It's acetic acid.
That's pretty caustic.
And what happens? I don't know, but it can't be. I can't imagine it's that great for you. But if you want to do a probiotic or something, go to culturesforhealth.com.
There's a lot of other great options.
Dude, I'm making my own creme fraiche. I know that just sounds so snooty, but for the people who don't know what creme fraiche is, it's used in a lot of cooking, particularly French cooking. But it's a milk product that when you add it to something, it won't break in the heat. It won't separate, and it's like something between heavy cream and sour cream, buttermilk. It's in there, but it's way more
kind of curdy.
But it's very. You can dip fruit in it, and it would be good.
Right.
Okay, which you wouldn't do with sour
almost like
cream.
a really soft cheese, kind of.
Yeah. Well,
Almost,
sort of,
like a brie, kind of.
But it is cultured.
Yeah.
And I've been making it. You get a little packet of the stuff. You can use buttermilk too if you want to. Listen, you want to make your own creme fraiche. This has been a horseshit show as far as answering questions. So I'm going to answer a question you didn't ask.
Let's run into the weeds.
Yeah, I'm going to answer a question you didn't ask. You want to make creme fraiche? Take a quart or a half a quart, which would be a pint, right? Yeah. Pints pound the world around. Yeah, so 16 ounces would be 32 ounces. 16 to 32 ounces. So for every 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream, and it can be ultra pasteurized. Don't let the snobs tell you that it can't be. You add 1 tablespoon of buttermilk. This is one way to do it. And then you mix it up. And at room temperature, let it sit out for 24 hours. And when you see it thicken, you can just let it sit out as long as you want. It'll get thicker and thicker. Just put it in the refrigerator, and then you can use it. And you think, it sounds like it's just going to make buttermilk. It doesn't. It makes creme fraiche. Now, or you can go to Cultures for Life. They're not an advertiser. It's just a place that I go. And you get these little packets. You heat up the heavy cream to 86 degrees in the microwave. Good to have a thermometer to do that. You don't want hotter than that because it'll kill the bacteria.
Right.
And then you mix it up, sit it out again for 12 to 24 hours, and then put it in the refrigerator. And this will change your life if you like to cook. I'm just telling you right now. Creme fraiche, if you don't know what it is, look it up. It is one of the greatest tools that you can have for making really rich things that are not, too crazy. So when I make soup for Tasty, I'll put a couple tablespoons in there, and it turns whatever soup I'm making into cream of whatever soup, So anyway, all right. It's good though. Kiss my ass.
You know what buttermilk is translated into in French, don't you?
No,
Garbage.
Creme fraiche.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Oh.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you're talking about people learning a different
No, this
language.
stuff is thick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Talking about people learning different languages. My father-in-law used to be amazed that children that were born in France knew how to
French.
Yeah, speak French.
Yeah, they must be smart.
How'd they learn French?
Yeah, they can talk that other language.
I love it.
All right, let's see here.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm calling all the way from the greatest state in the Union.
Texas?
Texas.
Oh, yeah,
Anyway.
give myself one of these.
Give yourself a bill.
Sildenafil. We all know those are boner drugs. What's the danger in taking those, and what is too much? How many milligrams should you not take?
Okay, so boner drugs. We only have a couple of minutes left. We're talking for the purposes of this. We'll talk, sildenafil, tadalafil. That's Cialis, Viagra, and that stuff. These are drugs that they're called phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors, and what they do is increase the amount of nitric oxide in your bloodstream. And one of the benefits to nitric oxide is it will decrease your blood pressure, but also it's a vasodilator, so it'll open up blood flow to the penis when it's requested, and will give you a big meaty erection looking like a ballpark frank in a microwave. That's not my line. It's from some comedian, but it's very apt. It would give you a boner so hard a cat can't scratch it. That's sort of a Tennessee aphorism.
Yep.
So now the down. That's Tacy. Well, let's put her on the air. I'll tell you what the downsides are. Just go look it up. Hang on a second.
Headaches.
Tacy, you're on Weird Medicine.
Oh, hey, let me tell you something.
Yep.
If a valet asks you if you need help taking your stuff to a room, always yes. Always yes.
Okay, because you got lucky?
Yeah. No, because I ran around for 20 minutes trying to find my way around this place.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, excellent. Well, listen, we're just wrapping up. I'll call you in about 5 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Tacy, everybody.
Tacy.
Yay.
Full of wisdom and insight.
It's the one time that she didn't just hang up when I said, hey, you're on Weird Medicine, because remember a year ago she used to call, she was out working, and then she would call and somehow forget that we were always recording on Wednesday at 3:30, and then she would get mad and hang up. But now she's been on the show for the last year.
Now she's a believer.
Now she's part of it now. So, and I miss having her here, to be honest with you. It's going to be a while before Tacy's going to be back on the show because of her new work schedule, because she's back out in the field. But anyway, headaches, changes in vision. It can change the way that the retina actually gets its blood flow and can cause some problems. Priapism. That's one where you get an erection that won't go away. If you get an erection that lasts more than 4 hours, it becomes extremely painful and can cause some significant long-term problems with your future erections. So you want to go straight to the emergency room if that happens.
Sudafed.
And then that's right. And the other thing is that if you're taking certain drugs, it can drop your blood pressure so much that it can decrease the blood flow to the heart and can cause some problems there. And those, most of the time, are going to be nitrates. Like if you're taking nitroglycerin for congestive heart failure or for angina, heart pain. So, and what's the maximum dose? Whatever your provider prescribes for you.
Yes.
Right. That's the maximum dose. Don't take more than that.
What's in the bottle.
And if you talk to them and you need a little bit more, that's fine. Talk to them about it, but let them drive that bus. Okay.
I'm about to say mine is 24 hours after taking one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a heart attack.
Really? Why is that?
Chest pulp. My chest literally hurts.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, yeah, as much as it would be fun to play with that stuff, I've tried it twice, and both times I was pretty sure.
Well, then you would be a candidate for injecting
a different medicine.
Alprostadil into your penis instead of...
Let me think. Stab it with a needle?
Yes.
Now, you've tried the Muse thing before, right?
Yeah.
Did that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just the same. That's the same thing. It's just an expensive way of injecting Alprostadil into the base of your penis. Maybe we need to talk about this next time, because I just threw that out there, and now people are going, what the hell? So maybe we'll talk about that next time. All right, I guess that'll do it for today. Stacy, you got anything else?
No, not really.
Okay, all right. Scott? Oh, my God.
No. No, I hope everybody has a wonderful spring.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We can't forget Rob Sprance, Bob Kelly, Greg Hughes, Anthony Cumia, Jim Norton, Travis Teft, that Gould girl, Lewis Johnson, who just had a baby, by the way. Congratulations. Paul Ofcharski, who's been uploading our SiriusXM shows in Lewis's absence. Chowdy 1008, Eric Nagel, the Port Charlotte whore, everyone. Roland Campos, sister of Chris, Sam Roberts, she who owns pigs and snakes. Wait a minute, I need to do that a different way. She who owns pigs and snakes. Pat Duffy, Dennis Falcone, Matt Kleinschmidt, Dale Dudley, Holly from the Gulf, the great Rob Bartlett, Casey's Wed T-shirt, Carl's Deviated Septum, Patty C. Cups, Bernie and Sid, Martha from Arkansas's Daughter, Ron Bennington, and, of course, Fez Watley, who supported the show, has never gone unappreciated. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel, SiriusXM channel 103, Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern on demand, and other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Feels has me feeling my best every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feals.com/fluid. That's FLUID. You get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's FEALS.com/fluid to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/fluid.